Hey guys, thanks for stopping in. I'm just getting started. I got an artificial tree and stuff that I got to get her in, so we can get a good view of her. So just bear with me, guys. I'll be with you. All right. Holy shit! I'm getting too fat for that kind of stuff. All right, guys, let me get her out. I'm way too fat. Holy shit. Come here, big girl. Come on. Come on. Here. Come here. 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 Come on. Come on. Here. There you go. Are you holding on? Get a hold of it. See, look at that. I put her on there and she immediately climbs up as high as she can go. Let me get the tripod set up. Sorry guys, I can't see y'all's comments just yet, but you give me just a bit here, I'll get to them. You're right, Pepsi and Newport does not help, Sue. But mind your business, will you? I'm just messing with you, Sue. Fuck. She is very pretty. She's a real pretty snake. Having a good day, Soviet Kitty. Very good day. Got a lot accomplished today. Whew. But as y'all saw there in the very beginning, I put her down. Well, I don't know if y'all saw, but you got to take my word for it. I put her down on a lower portion of the tree, and she immediately climbed as high as she could go. And as you see her now, she's looking for an even higher spot to go to. These snakes love the treetops. Looks like I got to move the damn camera. It's vibrating. What's up, girl? Hmm? What's up? Are you being sneaky, huh? Here. What the hell? There we go. Are you being sneaky, huh? I have noticed something today. I was thumbing through YouTube a little bit today and some of the other reptile guys. And for a very long time, all the reptile channels would take video and stuff, but they were always kind of far away, you know, like nobody ever had super up close and personal video. But since I have been doing such up close stuff with these snakes, we have some people going ahead and doing the same thing. So I think we may have started a new reptile trend here as far as how we video these guys. Trying to find a better angle here. There's a lot of leaves on that tree. That kind of sucks. So I'm seeing how I can get the camera set to be able to see her better. It might just be a trendsetter. I don't know, but that's fine if I set trends. Just hopefully other people will come view our stuff too. Hey girl, what you doing? Hmm? Hey, why do you got to be way up there? Hmm? Come on, girl. Come on out here so we can see you. Yeah, like that. Come on. I'm touching you. Haha, I'm touching you. I'm gonna try to tip the thing a little. Maybe that'll do it. Like maybe I can tip it enough to get it down low enough to get a better look at her here. Whoop. Hey now. Hey now. Yes, I disrupted you. I know I did. Maybe we can get the camera here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna upset her, that's for sure. I'm making her mad, trying to get a good view. There we go. Now I got a dilemma. I have set my phone real close to her. There we go. Let's see, girl. Yes, I know. I already know. I'm just looking at your nose. Yes, she has had a grudge for a long time. Isn't it in all females' DNA? Come on, damn it. Yeah. There we go. That's not too bad of a view. Yeah, Tom, they do not forget. Thanks for the confirmation, because I was kind of wondering if it was just mine that didn't forget or if it was all of them. I kind of had a suspicion it was all of them, but it matters more when mine don't forget. All you guys are on your damn own. Talked to Trayford a little bit ago. He said he's going to be on tonight. He had a seizure yesterday. I guess I probably shouldn't be telling his info to everybody, but he had a seizure yesterday. That's why he wasn't on last night. Well, looks like the camera has shifted. I got to get that right. Come on, you pig fucker. There you go. There you go. Okay. Now, I gotta go grab one of them Pepsis that we talk so highly about. Yeah, man, that sucks about Trey. He's all right now. I guess it's something that has been happening for a little while now, but it hasn't happened in a while until yesterday. I'm gonna text him and make sure he's good tonight, because I thought he'd be in by now. But pretty much like out there in the wild, you know, if this snake was up in the trees or something, or in the bushes in the wild, unless you know you're looking for a snake, you know, that snake blends in pretty good, even though it's so nice bright blue. No, Soviet Kitty, you didn't miss anything really. I was just saying that our one viewer that comes on here, Trayford, he had a seizure yesterday. That's why he missed the stream. Yeah, she sits perfectly still. She won't move, you know. She'll sit there and wait. If I was to try to give her a rodent right now, she would snatch it right on up though. Yeah, he's alright right now. Unfortunately, he has a condition that makes it happen sometimes. get the microphone plugged in so I can talk a little here. Looks like I've got to fight my way around her to do so. Girl, you just keep your butt right where you're at, okay? I'm not gonna mess with you. You don't mess with me. And we can get along just fine. All right, how's that sound? Okay, does that sound all right? All right, deal. Let's see, where did he put it, Jesse? There it is. Favorite part of your night? Yeah, hell yeah, man, son. I appreciate that. I'm still in the middle of setting things up. I'm getting the microphone plugged up and all the All right, guys. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got the microphone plugged in. I was muted for just a minute, Tom, while I was getting the microphone going. Oh, shit. So, guys, I know that a handful of y'all here are the regulars and have heard about this snake before and talked about them. And I don't know that the counter is correct all the time, because it bounces around. So sometimes I think we got more people in here than what it says, because we have more people chatting than what it's saying is in here at times. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about these guys, and I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Virtual Reptarium. I like to call it the wildest corner of the internet, and it's kind of a little different than most reptile channels. Here we kind of, make a spot where science meets reptile, or science meets the scales. And today, obviously, we're heading off with one of the most legendary places on Earth, the Komodo Island. It's the home of the Komodo dragon. Everybody knows about the Komodo dragon. And, don't let the this motherfucker, what's wrong here? There it goes. All right, I got her. There it is, guys. So anyway, so yeah, anybody, or everybody here has heard about the Komodo or the Komodo dragon, over their life as kids, even as adults and stuff, and they are one of the largest living lizards on the planet. They grow over 3 meters long. And they weigh up to like 150 pounds or more. That's the average like high school student crossed with a crocodile. So, they're pretty deadly fascinating and stuff, and they are as well a, from my understanding, and I hope I'm not wrong here, but from my understanding, they're as well a venomous lizard. Um, they got, toxic proteins and stuff in their saliva and stuff. Um, Scientists back in the day, I think, thought it was like a bacteria thing, but it's not. It's more of a venom, kind of like a snake. So, and I know we're looking at the Komodo Island pit viper here, not the Komodo dragon, but I just wanted people to understand that it's the same location as the Komodo dragon for this snake that we're looking at. And something else that's kind of cool is even these Komodo dragons, they do the same types of things as snakes. They have that forked tongue, that flicks out, and they pull it back in with chemicals, particles on there, and they use their Jacobson's organ to, detect, smell and pheromones and things like that. So it's not just standard to snakes. Lizards do it as well. Seen there, like soon as something touched her, she turned around and, like, what the hell is that? You better get off of me. So, I got to turn on my hotspot here. That way, if something happens with the stream, because the internet's spotty at this house upstairs, and if the damn internet stops or something, it'll automatically pick up on the hotspot, and we shouldn't lose connection. So, come on, you bitch. Please connect already. I am the worst live streamer in the world, guys. I apologize. So unprepared. I will be prepared and professional, though. Very soon. Very soon. I'm getting there. I've been working hard on it. What are you doing? All right, everybody. I think we finally got everything lined up and ready to go here. We got her staring back at us for a minute. And yeah, Trey, she's mean mugging us for sure. You know, it's because I've done poked and prodded at her. I put her in a damn tree and then I won't let her climb around. I'm making her hang out there so we can see her. So she's a little upset with me. But yeah, so a lot of the regulars have already seen this snake. I know that. I know I've showed the same handful of snakes for several days now. We will move on to some other snakes, you know, in the near future. I've kind of been doing this just to make sure that I'm staying consistent with the live streams, you know, to keep, you know, YouTube's, you know, algorithms and magic flowing. You know, we still gain subscribers with every live stream. You know, the last couple of streams we have not gotten an impressive amount of views, but we're keeping it alive, and that's what all I can ask for while I'm down here doing this. Once I am done with everything down here, and I'll take a walk through and show everybody. It ended up being more than just a roof. You know, I ended up remodeling the entire one apartment and putting a roof on the entire building. So that's what has been taking me so long where I'm at. But we will get into what the Virtual Reptarium really stands for and how we want things to be going within the next probably week or so. And get rolling, you know, more how I want things to be for the channel. So anyway, but for those who are not regulars and have not seen this, anybody else that's in here, I just wanted to welcome everybody here to the Virtual Reptarium and let you know that I'm thrilled you're here. And obviously, you know, we want to show you something that we find pretty spectacular. It's a pretty extraordinary reptile, in my opinion. Just look at the color of the thing, you know, it's just an amazing, amazing creature. Who even knew that an animal existed with this kind of color, you know, in the wild? They've been around for many, many, many years, but lots of us haven't seen these things other than here on the internet, you know, or something like that. This snake here is known as the white-lipped island pit viper. The specific scientific name is Trimerosaurus insularis. It is a subspecies of Trimerosaurus insularis. It is also known as the blue insularis. They are specifically found on the Komodo Island. And again, that's another name they are commonly called, is the Komodo Island pit viper. Sometimes people shorten it all up and just call it the blue viper. Today, we're going to look a little bit into its biology, its ecology, and, you know, some of the evolutionary quirks. Maybe talk a little about the venom system and some conservation about it, because conservation is one of the big things that we're all about here at the Virtual Reptarium. We'll just try to talk a little bit where it's a little bit scientific, educational, and fun. And of course, before we begin, if you're enjoying the presentation so far, please hit the like button. And by the end of it, if you like what you hear, consider subscribing to the Virtual Reptarium so you don't miss future live streams and deep dives into any more reptiles. I'm fat. Sorry, guys. I'm out of breath. Whew. But anyway, from taxonomy to color morphs, from behavioral to habitat, from venom to conservation. And finally, why this snake can teach us something about nature's artistry and power. So let's start with a few basics. Where the snake fits in the living world and where it can be found. Like I said, it is called the white-lipped island pit viper. It is, again, in the Trimerosaurus insularis genus. The species used to be considered part of the broader white-lipped pit viper group. That one is actually scientifically known as Trimerosaurus albularis. But they have since been recognized as their own species, and that's why it is now the Trimerosaurus insularis, or the white-lipped island pit viper. More specifically, the pit viper subfamily Crotolinae is how I guess the proper way to say it. Some scientific names are very hard to say, which it means it has those characteristic heat sensing pits that you see there between the eye and the nostril. The little dark holes that you see looking straight on at this girl's face right now. Their geographic range is island based. They're like the Eastern Java and many of the islands of the Lesser Sunda areas, like Bali, Lombok, Flores, Komodo, Renka, Timor, and Wetar. Now, those names that I just gave you, let me explain a little bit. The Komodo Island is where the blue Trimerosaurus insularis is found. The Wetar Island, for example, is where the yellow Trimerosaurus insularis is found. So these snakes are specific to each island. The habitat for these snakes is, as you see here, you know, they're arboreal, they're tree and shrub dwelling. They live in like the monsoon forests, the woodlands, and sometimes some agricultural fringe. They're often on elevations of, 1,200 meters above sea level. And like colors and morphs and the stunning blue variation of this snake, it's kind of where things get interesting visually and evolutionary. Species is highly color variable. Typical forms of this snake are green, like a leaf green or a real bright green. But on the certain islands, as I said, the blue ones, they form on the Komodo Island, and the yellow ones form on the Wetar Islands. There was a study, and it was shown that the aqua blue form seems restricted, like I said, to the Komodo Island, while the yellow form is found more in the Wetar Islands and sometimes in the Timor Islands. Green is everywhere. The green ones are spread all throughout, Why for this variation, is kind of unknown, but the hypothesis include island-based isolation, basically leading to genetic drift. There was local environmental factors like light and canopy foliage color, selective camouflage, and different microhabitats. I've kind of explained that some in some of our other live streams when we are looking at the timber rattlesnakes, and I explained the differences between the black and yellows found in the northeastern United States and the sandy gray in the southeastern United States. The blue morph of the white-lipped island pit viper is one that many people call the blue insularis, or again, the blue pit viper. Though insularis is just a species name, not a separate species, they are very rare and visually striking. They're not as rare in captivity as they once was because of their striking colors. But I guess from a fun fact perspective, imagine a snake that in another island that has evolved to be turquoise or sky blue. Basically, nature's version of wearing a different uniform for each island. It's not entirely clear exactly why blue in that population, but the phenomenon is a great illustration of island biogeography and morphological divergence. So let's talk a little bit into the anatomical features, that kind of make this snake so successful in its niche. As a pit viper, the Trimerosaurus insularis have those heat-sensing pits between the nostril and the eye. It permits detection of infrared radiation, and infrared radiation is just the heat signature produced by warm-blooded prey. Things like, rats, squirrels, whatever warm-blooded mammals there are or rodents, you know, in their area naturally. They've got a keeled scale, which means when you look at the scales up close of this snake, down the center of the scale, you see like a raised rib, I guess, for lack of better words, down each scale, which makes the scales appear to stand up more than a, you know, say a ball python, which is their scale is smooth, you know, from one side to the other of the scale. This one has that ridge down the center. So it just gives it more texture rather than gloss. You know, like if you look at an anaconda example, it's very shiny and glossy. This snake is not super glossy. You know, it's more of a I guess flat or satin type color because of that keeled scale. It's very useful for camouflage, you know, in the trees or in the shrubs. Adults for these snakes, you know, can reach lengths between, you know, 60 and 80 centimeters, but some of them are up as much as 85 centimeters, depending on sex and locality, because there is sexual dimorphism with these snakes. Like this girl right here, she is at the upper end of that, you know, the 85 centimeter area. They're arboreal, as we've said, you know, and ambush oriented. They often perch in the shrubs or the low trees waiting for prey. They also employ, like I've tried to explain before, the caudal luring. That's where they shake that tail to attract prey, you know, and usually they're trying to attract prey like skinks or birds. The skinks or the birds think that it is maybe a little worm moving or something. They come to try to get the worm, and the snake's right there waiting, you know, to come around and bite the shit out of the little animal. The white lip, the common name, the white lip, that comes from the pale or the white upper lip region, which contrasts with the body color, you know, and that helps with the identification. Like right now, when you look at her and you look at her face, as you notice, the white actually goes up as high as just below her eye. And that's where they get the name, you know, the white lip pit viper. Obviously, the whole bottom jaw is white and the underbelly of the snake is white, but we're mainly talking about that upper lip right now. So some reports note a conspicuous red or reddish tail tip in certain individuals, which aids in luring the prey. And I've showed y'all with this girl as well that, you know, her tail tip is red. The studies that you can read, like I'm talking about now, say that some individuals have it. I have never seen an individual without it. So I don't know how common it is to find a true white-lipped island pit viper without the red on the tail. Let's talk about how this snake lives a little bit. Like when it's active, when it eats, how it reproduces. It's primarily nocturnal, meaning that they're active at nighttime. During the day, they rest coiled among vegetation like you're seeing right now. And being arboreal, they spend most of their lifetime in the shrubs or low trees. But they may also come to the ground when necessary if they need to hunt or move to another tree and things like that. Their diet, it includes small mammals, birds, frogs, lizards, especially skinks. They love skinks. This girl here, if I was to put a half a dozen blue-tailed skinks in there with her, she would love every one of them and eat every one, just one behind the other. Essentially, they like, you know, small vertebrates. They come within reach in a shrub or a forest environment, and they're as good as lunch. The caudal luring behavior that we spoke of, the tail tip wiggling, it's thought to be used to attract curious skinks and other small prey. The tail may look like a worm or worm movement to lure the prey closer, as I've explained. The reproduction, the species is viviparous, like the rattlesnake is ovoviviparous, meaning that it carries the eggs inside until they hatch and then give birth. These are viviparous, meaning that females give birth to live young rather than laying eggs. However, the babies inside of this snake are I guess the best way that I can explain it, and again, I may not be super scientific about it, but the best way I can explain that is similar to, a dog or, a mammal, where they actually are attached to the mother inside, and getting their nutrients and things from the mother directly. Where with an ovoviviparous is it's an egg inside the mother, and it is sustaining itself through the yolk inside the egg. So on some of the islands, females give birth to between 6 and 20 babies, depending on the size of her and the condition, how much food she has got to intake the year before, and things like that. For example, on the Komodo Island, like this girl here, it's typically a little less, about 17 young is the average that you end up with out of this girl. The babies are very, very small when they're born. And they are very, very difficult to get feeding as well when they are first born. As a predator of small vertebrates, these snakes do play a role in controlling populations, as all the other snakes, especially the timbers and others that I've spoke about, controlling populations of lizards and amphibians and, just rodents and stuff in their ecosystems. Without them, they'd be just overrun with these different creatures. The arboreal and camouflage-based lifestyles that they have means that they are part of the canopy or shrub layer. They're a predator of those areas, not just ground-dwelling creatures. The color morph variation across the islands suggests that local adaptation and ecological specialization are at work. It makes the species a living laboratory for island evolutionary biology. We gotta respectfully treat the topic of venom because it's part of the story and it really demands our attention. The white-lipped island pit viper is venomous. Its venom, again, is primarily hemotoxic. It affects the blood, tissue, vessels, things like that, rather than neurotoxic like the monocle cobras. And as we know, the neurotoxins that we've spoke about, they attack the nerves. Bites to humans are very rarely fatal if they're treated promptly. But they cause serious pain, swelling, tissue necrosis. And if anybody don't know what tissue necrosis is, it's death of the tissue. They are a considerable medical cost and danger. Behaviorally, while it may look aggressive in some photos, the snakes are not aggressive at all. They are defensive. There are some articles out there that will, perceive them as aggressive, but that's just simply untrue. And it's typically an uneducated person writing the article. They really prefer to avoid confrontation like every other snake. But again, they will defend themselves if they feel threatened or cornered. For human safety, it basically just means respect the animal, recognize its potential, and just keep a safe distance from them. The snake's not really a pet suitable for, casual handling by, non-experts or non-venomous keepers. From an evolutionary perspective, the venom helps immobilize and kill prey in an arboreal ambush situation, where basically a real quick and reliable kill is to their advantage. If they've got to wrestle around with their food item in the treetops, it could, be a problem. So it needs to, kill their prey very, very quickly. So, as I always do with all snakes, I'd like to talk a minute about conservation and the threats to these animals. The status of this remarkable creature is not right now listed as endangered. And according to many studies and sources like the IUCN, which is essentially the what people here in the States know as like DNR or DCNR. They are listed as least concern, so there's plenty of them. They are seeing repopulation. They're seeing everything in good order as far as that goes. However, least concern does not really mean no concern. There are several threats, again, just like everywhere in the world: habitat loss, deforestation, agriculture, collection for exotic pet trade, especially the blue ones. And there are other potential island specific vulnerabilities. Because the islands are so small and populations being so small, makes them really fragile. So the fact that very distinct color morphs appear in isolated island populations, it means that loss of a single island population could erase a unique variant of the species, though we may not lose Tremorosaurus insularis completely. We could lose the blue insularis completely or the yellow insularis completely. So from a biodiversity perspective, I think it's pretty significant. The conservation efforts, are just as I say here about most snakes: increased awareness, reduce the illegal trade, protect, all the ecosystems and habitats, and, just help get the word out there. And again, viewers, y'all can do that here with us and help us in that by simply hitting the like button and dropping a comment. You doing those two things signals to the algorithm that people are enjoying or interacting the stream, and it helps push it out to a bigger audience. And you could potentially, read about them or, support some of the current studies to understand population structure and maybe some of the genetic variations. And again, it's most important with these, not for an overall species, but more important for color morph conservation. So why should we, beyond enthusiasm for snakes, care about snakes in particular? Well, with this one, because it really demonstrates how evolution works in isolation. Sorry, guys, I need to put you on hold a second. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call coming in from a friend of mine. He's a friend, and he is also a bondsman. Him and his wife are bondsmans. If you ever need a bail bond in South Carolina, he is the man to call. So anyway, I had to take that call. Not that I'm out on bond, he is a friend, so but yeah, if you ever need a bail bond or something, definitely hit them up or hit me up, and I'll get you in touch with them however you want to do it. But so anyway, guys, it basically what I was saying there, is it just demonstrates how evolution works in isolation. Islands create conditions for, different color morphs, adaptation, I guess, divergence. The blue morph is a super vivid example of that because they blend, form and function and color, arboreal, ambush, predator, specialized behaviors, the caudal luring with the tail, this heat sensing pitch, that's where we got our, thermal imaging from, scientists studying that of the snakes, they're a living blend of beauty and engineering, really. They remind us how little we sometimes know what exactly blew in one island and why they're blue in one island and yellow in another, what selective pressures, what genetic mechanisms. The questions that, we've got are really still being researched, but we're learning a lot through the years. It highlights, ethical wildlife appreciation, not just a cool snake to own, moment. The species are wild, they're specialized, they're venomous, they're potentially vulnerable. Our fascination has to be paired with respect, conservation, awareness, and accurate information. So just a few fun, facts and, maybe something to remember. But on the island of the Komodo Island, the blue morph of this snake is so distinct that some guides call it the blue viper. Some photographic posts online show the snake coiled around a red rose. The contrast of blue and red make for viral imagery. There are some Reddit threads, and this one Reddit thread describes them as the beautiful shade of blue until you realize the danger. Again, that tail luring or the caudal luring, that red or bright tip on the tail, it's not for show, it's for dinner. Some small skinks get lured. Look at the wiggle, and they come a little closer, and next thing you know, they're lunch, So, although called white-lipped, the lip stripe may be subtle. The blue viper name refers to the body color, and insularis means of the islands in Latin. So, when you put all this together, and what we can do, let's summarize, the takeaways and look at how you can play a part. The white-lipped island pit viper, the Trimeresurus insularis, is a beautifully adaptive arboreal pit viper endemic to the islands and habitats of Indonesia. The color morphs, the green, yellow, and blue, reflect island-specific adaptation or divergence, making one particular morph, the blue insularis, especially iconic. Its anatomy, it has the heat pitch, the keeled scales, the arboreal body, the prehensile tail, and behavioral, the nocturnal ambush, the caudal luring. They exemplify evolutionary specialization. Their venom is potent and medically significant. Safety and respect are super essential. Conservation matters. Despite being of least concern, unique morphs and island populations are a risk. Again, because of the trade and habitat pressures, because those things are real. Beauty and danger are mutually exclusive. This snake is elegant but powerful. And it reminds us that nature often blends art and function. Some things that you could do is if you photograph or document wildlife, share responsibly, no disturbance, respect for animals and habitat. You can support, things, to do with reptile conservation and research, again, you can simply hit the like button, and share these videos, drop a comment, help us get this out to more people for us to spread the education. And as I'm talking about education, you can educate others from what you learn. You can share accurate information about snakes. Let me just remind everybody has a computer in their pocket today. Don't get on there and read the AI overview, and think everything there is to know about it. Do a little research, educate others. It will help. It'll help conserve, all types of different animals. People need to realize that they're not just evil monsters, that they are key players in what makes the world go round. If you're fascinated by reptiles, consider supporting or following the Virtual Reptarium and other platforms similar to the Virtual Reptarium. If you ever travel to the regions where maybe this snake lives or other ones that we look at, with proper guidance, respect local habitats, stay on the trails, recognize that you're visiting a highly evolved wild ecosystem. So now, as we wrap up on talking about this girl here, I'd like to bring us full circle. The blue Insularis, again, it's the brilliant blue morph of the Tremorosaurus Insularis. It reminds us that nature doesn't always stick to our expectations. A viper in the trees, blue in color on an Indonesian island, that's not your everyday snake, It's an ambassador for, reef-colored reptile diversity and evolutionary experiment in plain sight. They're a stunning reason to care about the island ecosystems. If you enjoy this presentation, please hit the like button, possibly subscribe to the Virtual Reptarium so you'll be the first in the line for the next reptilian marvel. Share this with your friends who think snakes are scary and help them see how fascinating they really are. I appreciate your attention on this. I'm happy that, you take your time to come in here. So I'm also now happy to take your questions. If you want to drop a question in the comment section, have anything you want to ask or anything you want to add or anything about, morphology, venom, color morphs, habitat, conservation, you name it, let's talk. And let's celebrate the wild, vivid, deadly beauty of the white-lipped island pit viper together. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, stay curious, and always be respectful of the animals. What's going on? Keon, good to see you here. Good to see you here. I don't know if David made it in or not after he called. Are you with us, David? Did you stop in, buddy? There you are, buddy. Good deal. I was telling everybody, that you and your wife run a bonding company. And, I was telling them if they ever need a bail bond in South Carolina, y'all are the people to call. Good people. We pretty good friends. You and your wife, good people. And the people that we have in here right now, they've all been real good people so far. We've been talking with a bunch of these people for a while and get along pretty well. Everybody's pretty knowledgeable, respectful. So we're happy to have everybody all together here and, talking about these little creatures. But I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, pull down another snake here. We'll put her up for just a little bit because she's pissed off at me. I'm not actually going to put her away. I'm just going to sit the tree to the side a little bit here and hope she don't bite my freaking head when I sit it up. All right, girl. You can hang out up there. All right. You hang out up there and we will take a look here at something else. let me set up another one, guys. And again, you know, I know the regulars that are in here, I know y'all have seen, you know, some of these snakes that we're showing again tonight. I already know that. I appreciate y'all being here, you know, checking them out and whatnot. Unfortunately, I'm still down the beach instead of out there at my house, so I'm not exactly able to, you know, show you anything different than what we have seen the last couple of nights. But, you know, there's a lot of people who have not seen them, and we are going to show them anyway. I appreciate y'all, though, regardless. So we're going to coax this guy up onto, he has took a giant dump in his cage. Come on, Bubba. Come on up here. Come here, Bubba. Come on. Come on up here, Bubba. All right, let me get him. All right, let's see if I can get. Let's see here. I got a better idea for this guy because it's tough to. There we go. How about like that? Right there. Yeah. All right, there we go. So, as most of y'all know, this guy here is a Western Diamondback rattlesnake. This snake is native to the United States, where a lot of us in the stream are from right now. And you're a bigger man than me. I would be behind Sue looking over her shoulder. Tom, come on now, toughen up, buddy. Hey, what's up, Synthetic News? Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate it. If this is your first time, stick around a while. You know, you might find it exciting. Hit that like button, if you will. Help us get out there to the algorithm gods and try to get it out to a bigger audience. The last few nights, the streams have been a little bit slow from normal, but we still carrying on, you know, going to keep doing the same things even on the slow days. So how you doing, Bobby Joe? Thanks for stopping in. That was for the, let's see. Wow, there you go, guys. We just got a big old yawn out of the Western Diamondback. That was pretty cool. A+ Bail Bonds, Conway, South Carolina. That is the name for David's bail bond company. And I don't know whether to give his wife's name on here or not, so I'm not going to do that. If he wants to, he can put it in the chat. But great company, guys. So, you know, not everybody's a criminal. I understand that, but sometimes shit happens and, you know, you get arrested even if you didn't do something. So, you know, keep that name in mind if you ever need it. I am going to find my Pepsi real quick and then we'll have a little chat, guys. So yeah, guys, again, I know the regulars have seen and heard about these snakes that we're looking at tonight. But again, I'm going to talk a little bit about these guys for the new viewers, anybody that has not heard about them. And I just appreciate y'all hanging around and having a chat with us anyway. And it doesn't hurt to hear about them a few times, because I'm sure there's things you don't remember or things you may have missed. So again, guys, welcome everybody here to the Virtual Reptarium. And as I was telling Sue, our moderator on here earlier, that I have noticed some of the other reptile channels here on YouTube in their last couple of videos have started doing more of this close-up photography of these snakes, like I have been doing since the start of the Virtual Reptarium, which is cool. We're starting a trend. I think it's a lot cooler to be able to see them up close and personal, and get good close, views of them and stuff. It's cool to watch the other way as well, but there's actually one channel that I saw today, and I was a lot happier with his channel today than I have been in the past, and that is Chandler's Wildlife. Very knowledgeable guy, very good reptile keeper. I was not always fond of, the free handling that he'd done on video. But he always had a good channel, exciting, very good guy and all that. So never was talking bad about him, just didn't like the free handling. And I did notice today in his videos, he was doing the up close stuff, and he was being a lot more cautious and using tools, which to me is more impressive than any free handling you could ever do. So yeah, guys, again, this is where we get up and close and personal with some of the coolest and sometimes even the creepiest creatures on the planet, and now, before we get started, do me a favor, if you will. If you have not already done so, hit that like button. All you have to do is double tap the center of your screen to give us a thumbs up. And tap the little bell icon if you are to subscribe, so you don't miss another live stream. We do live streams every single night. And today we're going to talk about, a snake right here from, North America and the American Southwest. You've seen it in cowboy movies. You've heard its warning in the wild. It's the Western Diamondback rattlesnake. So what makes the Western Diamondback rattlesnake, or the Crotalus atrox, if you want to impress your biology teacher, such a superstar? First, the name Diamondback. It comes from the distinct diamond-shaped patterns that you see on its back. It's kind of like wearing a designer desert jacket, if you will. Honestly, the snake owns the desert runway. They live across the American Southwest, everywhere from California to Texas, Arizona, and even into Mexico. You can find them hanging out in the deserts, the grasslands, rocky canyons, pretty much anywhere that it's hot, dry, and full of snacks like rodents and lizards. Let's clear it up right away. Western Diamondback rattlesnakes are not out to get you. Yes, they are an extremely defensive snake, in my opinion, but they are never aggressive. They will not chase you down to bite you. If you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. But they will absolutely let you know when you're getting too close. So let's talk about the rattle first. It's not, just a noisemaker that, they swallow, or a tail accessory from the toy store. It's made up of interlocking segments of keratin. Keratin is the same stuff as yours and my fingernails. Every single time that snake sheds, it adds a new segment to the rattle. It grows just like a fingernail, and then it interlinks with the next one. So basically, when there's one segment now that is attached to the tail, when the new segment grows in, it pushes the other one off of the skin of the tail, and it is interlocked with the new segment, but it is able to move freely inside of it. So when the snake shakes its tail with the muscle called the tail shaking muscle, it will move anywhere between 50 and 60 times per second. And the hollow segments buzz together and they make that trademark sound. It's basically the snake's way of saying, hey, human, I see you. Don't step on me. Don't get any closer. There's been articles and some scientific research to where they have measured the sound, and it can reach as much as 90 decibels. That's like a weed eater or a lawnmower. So they can get pretty darn loud. So if you hear the sound while you're hiking, stop, don't move, give the snake a little bit of space. Some predators like road runners and coyotes, they still try their luck. But even they know that, when the rattle goes off, it's time to think twice. So let's get into what everybody, worries the most about, the venom. The Western Diamondbacks are pit vipers, and that means that they've got those heat sensing pits on their face, between the eyes and the nostril. And you can think of them as built-in infrared goggles. In fact, that's where scientists learned to be able to develop infrared, cameras and goggles. So when a warm-blooded mouse walks by, the snake doesn't even need to see it. It just senses the heat and it strikes, with precision. The fangs are like, hypodermic needles. They fold back when they're not in use up to the roof of the mouth, and they just sort of snap forward and inject venom whenever they strike. The venom is a hemotoxic with these snakes, just like the blue Insularis. And again, that just means that it affects the blood and tissue and, like the little blood vessels. It's bad news for prey, but for humans, it is serious, but it's rarely fatal, especially with modern treatment. Most bites, again, happen because somebody was trying to mess with the snake or just didn't see it and accidentally stepped on it. So the moral of that story is don't play cowboy with a rattlesnake, guys. Just leave it alone. Call an expert or, do it safely. Use maybe a long shovel that you can scoop it up with and take it out and let it go in the woods. Don't try to kill it. Let's bust a couple of myths real quick because, I know these are very widespread myths. People say that rattlesnakes will chase you. That's not true at all. That's just a huge, movie myth or something. They're defensive. They are not aggressive. And another one that is a really, really big one that I know majority of people have heard. And guys, I don't know if you're losing. Sorry, guys. The microphone was dying there. I hope I wasn't cut out, too long there. But, one of the myths that, we really, really got to talk about is, a lot of people have the misconception that baby rattlesnakes are more dangerous than adults. That is absolutely incorrect and not true. Babies do have venom, but adults deliver way more venom than a baby. So, and they can actually control how much they inject. And they say that babies can't. That's a myth as well. But either way, let's stick with the myth that babies cannot control how much venom they inject. It doesn't matter because regardless, the babies have way less venom than the adults. So the total dose is still much smaller. So cutting and sucking out the venom is another myth. Do not do that. That is a Hollywood move that does more harm than good. If you're bitten, you just need to stay calm, call for help, and get to the hospital. That's all you've got to do. Yes, there are people who keep rattlesnakes as pets, me being one of them, but unless you are trained, properly licensed if your area requires a license, and know what you're doing more than any of those others, more than the license and all that, know what you're doing and use your tools. And until you're ready to actually take that step forward, maybe stick to, watching the virtual Reptarium instead, and let us, be the idiots. There's a part that a lot of people miss, and about rattlesnakes, and the fact that rattlesnakes are super important for the environment. They keep rodent populations in check, which helps prevent disease like hantavirus and Lyme's disease, because, ticks, are hitchhikers on, rodents, and that helps, move the ticks from place to place. Ticks get on humans, bite them, cause Lyme's disease. So without snakes, we'd be knee deep in mice and rats. They are also prey themselves. Things like hawks and eagles, wild pigs, they all eat rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes are the most eaten snake out of any snake in the wild in North America. So they are a super vital link in the food web and in their ecosystems. Basically, the snakes are desert's natural pest control and one of nature's best examples of balance, in my opinion. So if you ever hear that rattle, don't panic, just respect it. The sound means the snake's doing its job. It's surviving, it's warning, and it's keeping the ecosystem running smoothly. If you're hiking, wear boots, watch where you step. And, just remember, the snakes don't want to fight, they want peace and quiet just like we do. So if you see one, and you just stay back, it's not going to come out from under that log or whatever to come get you. It's going to mind its own business. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much, the deep dive, I guess, into the Western Diamondback, and again, it's the desert's most misunderstood, celebrity. If you learned anything new by that, or you just love seeing the amazing animals up close, hit that like button, subscribe to the Virtual Reptarium, and share this video with your friends, even ones that don't like snakes. Maybe, seeing a cool colored snake like this might interest them enough to want to learn something about them. And, it can help further, the research, the conservation efforts, and etc., with these animals. And let me ask you, tell me in the comments, what snake should we feature next, Maybe, maybe some cobras, maybe some different rattlesnakes, mambas, whatever, you tell me. And again, guys, thanks for hanging out. Stay curious. And remember, respect the rattle. So you want to see another rattlesnake next, Keon? All right. I mean, we're looking at this rattlesnake right now. Tonight I have the timber rattlesnakes with us that we can take a look at. And then, tomorrow I will swap out a couple of snakes, for a couple of different snakes at the house and bring along to show us. All right, Sunshine, stop. That's enough. I'm not dealing with this stuff in the chat. I refuse to do it. People are here to check out the snakes. People are here to, talk about reptiles and stuff. I'm not here to have, babysit and have arguments between anybody. I'm sorry. I like my viewers. I love all of you, being here every night, checking out the animals, talking with us and everything. But, it's enough, this chat is not a Jerry Springer show. This chat is not for y'all to argue in and all of that stuff. Nobody wants to see that drama, okay? So it stops now or I will block both of you. Anyway, now, let's take a look at, I guess the baby timber rattlesnakes for just a little while here. What's up, Bubba? I'll have to get the light going and stuff. But oh yeah, Snitch would definitely give all his venom that he has if he was to bite. You are absolutely right. Is that his name now, Tom? Because you and Sue have both said that now, so I believe that's his name, Snitch. Yep. As you guys can see here, this is a yellow phase right in front of us. And the yellow phases are starting to take on the yellow color right there in the face, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And Trey said it as well. Yeah, cool. He tells on me whenever I'm getting too close, I guess. You see how curious these little timbers are? You know, they come over and, you know, when they see me setting the camera up, you know, they come over and they, you know, get close, wondering what's going on and stuff. So, thanks, David. I know you're not a snake guy, David, but, you know, there's a handful of people in here that, you know, wasn't really snake people when they started out watching, you know, here and everything. But, you know, they keep coming around, you know, hanging out and stuff. And, but what are you talking about there, Sunshine? If you want to leave for good, that's up to you. But I'm not telling you to leave. I like you. I like all my viewers. I just ain't going to play the arguing games in this chat room. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I got to think about all the viewers, not just one. So, but yeah, man, there's you know, and again, these snakes, you know, they're very important for many reasons, you know. A lot of people, you know, see them as villains or are afraid of them. But, you know, they do a lot of good for us. A lot of good for us. They, you know, they control rodent populations, you know. Like, that's one thing that, David, that we talked about with you and your wife one day, about how you don't like mice, or your wife don't like mice or rats, you know. She you know, freaked out about them. And that time that she saw one wherever, you know, was standing in the chair, I remember you telling me that story. But you know, that's something that these snakes do, you know. Each one of these snakes can eat 2,000 rodents per year. So, you know, eating that many snakes or that many rodents, you know, that keeps them in balance. If we didn't have these snakes eating those rodents, you know, we would just be overran with rodents, you know. We'd literally be knee deep in rats and mice and all that kind of crap. Wow, Trey, your timber was a little baby like this when you got it. These guys are only, you know, 15 to 18 inches long right now. They're little tiny small guys. Just a newborn little guy when you got him. Hey, David, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, hit the thumbs up, man. Double tap the center of your screen there. And, yo, give me a few. Yeah, you have a few around the house, and yeah, I mean, you live in the South, bro. I mean, you're gonna run into some snakes here and there. It's gonna happen. So learning how to deal with them and what to do when you run into one. That's the best. That's the best thing you can do. You rather than fear them and worry and stuff. Just learn how to safely deal with them, get them, move them along and stuff, and we can easily coexist with these animals without having to fear. Come on, man. Fuck, guys, I got a fucking disaster here. Alright, girl. Alright, where you at? Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. Just about got my ass in a sling here. Come here, big girl. I'm sorry about that. My God. Oh, Jesus. Whew. My God, I about had a heart attack. Oh my. What the hell was in there? Nothing. Nothing in there. Okay, good. Whew. Holy fuck. It's alright, little dude. Yeah, I knocked this goddamn tree over.
He just knocked the tree over, that's all.
Don't tell her.
Okay, I see. Okay. All good? Alright, we're all good up here, man. Right.
Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, guys, I'm back. Art came over to see what all the damn racket was when I knocked that damn tree and stuff over. Jesus.
Alright.
Alright, man. Alright, so guys, something to actually show you here. If y'all can remember, I told you that a snake was scared if they was just eating or they had just eaten, when they get scared, they will regurgitate their meal. Well, I actually scared him when I knocked that stuff over, so he regurgitated his mouse so he could flee, you know. They're able to run faster if they have an empty stomach, you know, or something like that. Whew, damn. Oh shit. Girl, you be nice, alright? Enough of that damn defensive shit. You know I'm not gonna hurt you. Alright guys, so there we go. Anyway guys, back to what we were doing here. Alright. Yeah, I'm good, Tom. Man. I did something super stupid, that's all. Yeah, the blue was still out. That's exactly what I done. Guys, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I just about got bit is what happened. I don't like to tell my mistakes because I have made 2 mistakes now, you know, since I've been down here at the beach doing these live streams. It's because I'm not in my element where I'm at. So I don't have things set up where I easily eliminate some risks. And I had the blue in that tree still, like I had her earlier showing y'all. And I was trying to plug the light in for the timbers, you know, that we're looking at right now. And I actually felt something touch my shoulder, and it made me jump. And when I did, I hit that tree and knocked it over. Well, it was her striking at me because I was too close. So yeah, it was very freaking dumb of me. You know, I'm a fucking idiot. You know, I gotta slow down, pay more attention, and get back to my place. You know, where things are set up, you know, better. I'm doing things half-assed down here. I'm working without a spotter. You know, I'm doing a lot of stuff that I should not be doing. You know, to put on these live streams. You know, so it's my own fault. Every bit of it's been my own fault. I got to get it together, you know, before I got a problem here. So anyway, everybody's good. The snake's good. I'm good. She's back in her tree. We're good to go. Yeah, luckily it was the blue insularis. Yeah, luckily it was a bluff strike. I'm glad you remembered, you know, what we call that, Sunshine. That's good. That tells me that you do pay attention when we're doing our streams here. But yes, it was a bluff strike. That's exactly what it was. Again, you know, these snakes know, you know, that you're a human, or they know you're, you know, they're not going to kill you. They know they're not going to kill you to eat you and all that kind of thing. So that, you know, is why it was a defensive thing out of her, you know, warning me basically, you know, get the hell away, you're too close to me. And, you know, so yeah. But I'll show y'all exactly what I was doing. You know, right here, oh shit. Right here is the tree. There she is in the tree. And I was right here, standing between the tree and the corner of the bed. And there is an outlet down there. And I was running that cord for the light to plug it in. So I was sort of leaned down in there plugging that in. And she hung down off of that tree. And she gave me a little warning tap, you know. So, yeah. She does. She blends into that tree very, very well. But, and yes, you're right there, Sunshine. She, oh man, that scared me once again. Jesus. But anyway, you know, yeah, it was a warning. If she wanted to, she would have bit me for sure, you know. But she just wanted to warn me, you know, that I was being an idiot. So, man, sorry guys, man, I'm such an idiot, such an idiot. I know it might sound a little dramatic on my end, but for real, guys, when something like that happens, you know, it's like you're just, you know, the thoughts just start flashing in your head about what could have been, you know, what could have happened. No, sunshine, I wouldn't have died if she would have got me. But it would have, you know, probably put me out of commission for, you know, a few days, if nothing else. Okay, you got a house cat? Yeah, the cat, David, will definitely keep the mice and the snakes away for sure. Mm. Yeah, if that was a cobra, it would have probably bit me for sure. So yeah, Tom, I'm gonna switch the snakes out tomorrow, and I'm gonna bring a couple of the monocles down, and maybe something else. You know, I'll pick another one or something. But I'm gonna wait until we get back to my place and in the reptile room, before I do anything having the snakes out of the enclosures anymore. You know, I'm sorry, but it's just what I've got to do. So I'm on here trying to teach everybody, you know, to be safe and, you know, like trying to explain that these snakes don't want to hurt you and stuff, you know, and you know, I'm doing dumb stuff like this. So I got to, I gotta, you know, slow it down for a minute, get back out to my place and do it correctly. Bobby Joe, she's feeling all right today. She's not doing too bad. Thank you for asking. But man. And again, guys, you know, it's just a perfect example of even when you think you're doing everything right in this hobby, you can easily make mistakes. You know, like I said, I, you know, would have never thought I was doing anything wrong, you know, trying to plug a light in, you know. But, you know, you get focused on something else and you forget one small detail, you know, and that's all it takes, you know. It takes one little thing. And that's some of the stuff I have explained about some of the other keepers that we see free handling these animals because they've been working with them all their lives. Well, that's great. They've been working with them all their lives, yes, and they know the snake. Yes, they do. However, any little thing can happen and, you know, it can go sideways in a hurry and they get complacent. Absolutely, yes. That's exactly, you know, what happened there. And like I say, you know, by the grace of God, it was this particular snake because she does not want to kill me. She knows I'm not going to hurt her, you know. But either way, they still have that instinct in there telling you, back up, you know, to keep themselves safe, you know. Just like me or you know, we might carry a handgun, you know, for protection, even though we have no intention and will probably never ever use it. We still have it, you know, there just in case. You know, it's the same type of thing out of the snake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Sunshine. That's why you always use your tools. It's one thing to get complacent, and it's still no excuse and not okay to do so. But it's one thing to do that, and it's a complete another thing to, intentionally free handle a venomous reptile. So, yeah, that's very smart there, Sunshine. Never ever bare hand, free hand or bare hand a snake. Just don't do it. Not worth it. All right, guys. I'm gonna go outside and smoke this cigarette. I've been walking around with the thing in my mouth. I will be back with y'all here in just a few minutes. You're not gonna hear anything for just a few minutes while I do that. Alright guys, I'm back for right this minute. We're so anyway, we're just going to watch these timbers for just a little while here, everybody. Like I say, after tonight, I am going to swap out the snakes. I'm going to probably bring a couple of cobras with me. And there's another rattlesnake I really want to show y'all. So we will bring another rattlesnake too to show y'all, but we're not going to be getting stuff out too much. As y'all can see now, see, she has hidden herself really well, you know, and watching very, very closely right now, you know, because of what I've done. And of course, our little bitty rhino viper. He's always pretty and you still in the chat there, Trey? Yeah, we're gonna probably around 11 o'clock. Just go ahead and cut this stream short tonight. So we'll roll for you know, it'll be 11 o'clock Eastern time. But so we still got another 15-20 minutes here, and then after that we'll probably cut it short unless for some reason we have a whole bunch of people come in between now and then. I got to regroup and get things ready, you know, and in order, and a little more prepared for the streams here for the next few days. I will be bringing some snakes. We'll do some feedings and stuff. I'll bring some rats along. Sorry guys, I muted the thing. I am going to restart this stream. I'm going to do a horizontal live rather than this vertical live. So hopefully y'all have your notifications turned on. So let's restart this horizontal. I'm curious to see if it makes a difference, because it'll appeal to a different audience through a horizontal stream than it does this vertical. So let's try that out. So all of y'all that are in here, if you don't mind, I'm going to end this, and then let's see. Actually, you know what? Let me take another. I'm going to use another device here. I'm going to start a new stream in another device and see that y'all get the notification for it. So let's check here, and that way it'll go out to another audience, or a different audience. Maybe that'll help us on, getting more people checking it out and stuff. These vertical lives are a little weird, so not everybody watches the vertical lives. All right, let's see. All right, I have got the live stream started, the horizontal live. Like I say, I don't know that it makes a difference. I'm not sure. I just want to find out. I got fucking stuff everywhere now that I had that disaster a little bit ago. Oh, man. Let's see here. We got one person in horizontal so far. Don't know who it is yet, but we will see. Looks like one person stopped in to check it out and then pulled back out. So, well, maybe, because we got a like there, so. Welcome, welcome. I don't see any chat yet, so I don't know if you have message to tell me who it is that stopped in or not. That orientation's actually a little bit better as far as picking up the whole cage. Thank you, Trey, for that about the rhino. Uh-oh, I just knocked the camera over. Let's get that back up in place here. There you go, Trey. I'll give you another look, buddy. There we go, bud. Let's see if I can get this damn camera sitting somehow. Come on, man. Why is everything a challenge tonight, guys? Fuck. Yeah, your chat will look different because this is more. Come on, man. Fuck. Why is everything fighting me tonight? I'm just about to quit for the night. But yeah, Tom and Sue, your chat will look different for the night for sure. But yeah, Trey, sorry about all the cluster mess earlier there, man. I was being stupid, not paying attention, But if you will, stop over to the other stream I just started and give us a thumbs up, if you will, if you don't mind, before you go, if you plan on going to bed. But yeah, guys, and I might go ahead and leave this stream going too. Let it watch in the rhino for a while. Why not? It won't hurt nothing. You're still a newbie on here. Yep. I know it, buddy. I know it. That's cool. The chat comes up, for a second whenever y'all write something, then it fades out of the way. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna look on here. I don't know why, but it won't let me. It won't let me look at it. What the heck? There we go. Yeah. So full moon. Yeah, I guess maybe that's the problem. Yeah, I'm curious whether it's going to get any other people into this, chat or into this stream or not. So I guess there's no way to find out other than what we're doing here. So we'll see. Also, to like the stream, you cannot double tap anymore. I don't know how to give a like on here. Okay, you hit it right there on that thing. Yeah, it's more like a long form video in here. That's cool. I don't think the quality's quite as good. Yeah, the quality kind of sucks. other, days where there's several days in a row that didn't do too good, it's almost like the algorithm isn't pushing it. I've had other days where there was a couple of days in a row that the algorithm didn't push it real well. If you hold your phone horizontal, they are right below the video. Yeah, guys, I think it is a YouTube problem tonight because if we look here, it says 21 hours ago for this the live stream that y'all are watching right now, and that's not true. I just started the thing a little bit ago. Sue. Me too, and Tom. We're gonna go ahead and stick with these vertical lives. The other live, ain't doing so good. I think that it's a YouTube problem because when I look, it shows that this stream started 21 hours ago. And we all know that that's craziness. But I am going to restart the other stream vertical in hopes that we can get some more people in because, tonight has not been fucking real good. Tonight hasn't been that great for us at all. We haven't had no new people really. It's kind of weird. So it says we only had 20 chats. Like, come on now. The average view duration of 3 minutes, which is craziness. 7 views. Yeah, that's wrong. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird stuff how it's showing the analytics tonight and everything. The hell have I done? No. There we go. All right. Trey, it's cool. Anyone that you want to be in, man. I was just trying a couple of different live streams. Uh, the viewers just ain't rolling in, tonight or last night. And also, it looks like it could be a YouTube thing because YouTube is showing that I started my other stream 21 hours ago. And we know that it wasn't 21 hours ago, so I have no clue, bro. The other chat, I think, has more people right now, but I'm just going to let a couple of them play for now to see what happens here. I don't know. It's just really weird, man. I was going from, an overall of like 25,000 views. In the last 2 or 3 days, they've dropped down to like 1,500 and stuff like that, It has dropped to almost nothing lately. So I don't know what has happened, why it's different, in the last couple of days, whether it's a YouTube problem or if it's a me problem. I don't know. It looks like somebody else has stopped in here. So, I'm going to even show you my subscription list. I have to go find it. Wow, man. So I don't even show on your subscriber list. double check your subscription and double check your notification bell. There's two people in here watching. One of y'all have not hit the thumbs up button yet. If you will, please hit that thumbs up for us. Very weird. Very, very, very weird stuff. What the heck is going on here? Hey folks, thanks for stopping in. You're looking at a West African rhino viper and timber rattlesnakes. I don't know what you're asking, Bobby Joe. What do you mean is it about you? that's correct. I can't find this stream when I look for it on my channel, and it doesn't appear that it has done anything as far as, the viewers and stuff. Things are really weird. I don't know. Things just ain't going right. So, whatever. I'm going to let the streams roll and, see what happens. I don't know. I have no clue. See, these are the types of things that make a lot of people quit when they start trying to do the YouTube thing. When they have bad days, when they don't get a lot of views and stuff after they've been getting a lot. And I kind of question whether that's not a tactic from YouTube, trying to weed out those that, are going to give up, and stuff like that. Yeah, Trey, that's pretty cool. His pupils actually changed. How did y'all find this new stream? See, the reason, Tom and Sue, the reason I tried doing the other layout is because it counts towards the watch hours. And these vertical lives do not count towards the YouTube watch hours. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I just searched the virtual reptarium and it came up. Well, I know that it's either people are into it or they're not. I understand that part. But like I say, it's crazy because, my point to it is, just, Sunday, I think it was. It was either Saturday, Sunday, I don't know, one of those 2 days. In a couple of days before that, we was doing, 25,000 views. And we dropped from that down to tonight, we've got, I can't tell yet without stopping, but I know we've only got a couple of hundred views. So it's kind of weird. And all the streams prior to these last couple nights have always been several thousand views through the whole night. So that's what I'm questioning. Like, why, I don't know. But you're definitely correct. A culture thing and, educational, some people are into it or they're not, that's definitely true. But it's also like only, tonight and last night, it's like only my regulars or my subscribers have been able to see the stream come up. And it's not being recommended, It's, I don't know. And then, like I say, the other stream that we started, well, right here, I'll show you actually. This stream right here, it actually is showing me, like, I'll show you here. Let me open it up to show you. When I look for it here, like, let's view channel, let's click live. Right here. This is the stream that we were looking at before I started this one here. And if you look, it's still going right now, but it's showing me that there's 3 views and that I did it 21 hours ago. That's insane, you know, like the stream is still going and it's been playing for 2 hours and 43 minutes. And like the one that we're talking on right now, it was started 14 minutes ago and no views. So I'm kind of wondering if it's a YouTube thing, but like, you know, these, what you're seeing here, these are the highlights, you know. They're the highlights of the streams, but like, once I find the full streams, but I mean, normally, you know, like it's normal to get, you know, 2.6, 1.1, you know, that's normal stuff, but we also get, you know, like, look, you know, we have, you know, 3.7 thousand, 19,000, you know, 5.4 thousand, 5.6 thousand, 7,000. You know, normally we are getting, you know, a lot more views, 10,000, 27,000, 5,000, 27,000. You know, you get the point, you know, anyway. So we are normally getting, you know, a shitload of views. When you first found this channel, it was just from scrolling. Now that you've subscribed, it doesn't come up anymore. I literally had to go to the channel to find it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tom. That's exactly what I mean. Like, it's almost like YouTube is not even recommending the channel anymore. You know, it's like it just they have flipped the switch and stopped recommending it. So I'm not getting what I should be. I guess I'm just gonna have to get crazy like some of the other channels and get all rowdy and, you know, free handle snakes to get the views. Jesus. I don't know, guys, but it's cool. We gonna keep going anyway. It'll eventually pick back up. Yeah, Trey, that would definitely get them stirred up. That's cool, Tom. I appreciate you watching too, man. If it wasn't for, you know, you and Sue in the very beginning, you know, I wouldn't have any viewers. You know, y'all brought people in. You know, you guys signaled to the algorithm that somebody liked it, and it has brought people around. Um, I just, you know, I'm gonna have to check the analytics and see if there's something that You know, maybe there's a strike in there or something. Maybe I got in trouble somehow on my channel. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out and see, figure out, because it's very, very, very weird. I'm actually gonna do that right now. See what the heck, if there's something that's missing. And actually, I actually have a message right here from YouTube. I got a message right here from YouTube that's telling me people are getting hooked on your channel. Congrats on reaching 10,000 hours of watch time. Keep giving them what they want. Now, so they send me a message saying that I've reached 10,000 hours of watch time. And you got to see this. This is kind of crazy. They're telling me right in their own message that people were liking it, you know, and I got 10,000 hours of watch time. But when I look in here, it says I've only got 1,858, you know, public watch hours. So, which one is it? Either my watch time is doing great or it's not. So I don't know. I have no clue. But anyway. Okay, so someone else told you that they normally, okay, I got you. All right. All right. Well, then maybe it is something with YouTube, you know, that's messing it up. I just know that it kind of tripped me out because I was wondering if somebody, you know, like that dude I offered a job to and shit. I didn't know if maybe some of his people, you know, reported me, you know, lied or reported me, said something bad or something. I didn't know. But yeah, anyway, that's cool. That's good to know, guys. So, like I say, it doesn't matter. I mean, even if it was just y'all, you know, the couple of regulars that hang out, even if it was just y'all coming in here, you know, we'd keep putting these live streams on anyway. Because, you know, I enjoy it no matter what. Like I say, for me, it's not about money, you know. For me, it's about, you know, having fun and, you know, teaching people a thing or two about snakes, you know, having close calls with snakes and stuff. So that's what it's all about around here. Are you talking on the watch hours, Trey? If you're talking watch hours, that's the overall watch hours. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Tom. You're right. Mm. So something that maybe a couple of y'all could help me with is whenever you got extra time or even you know maybe you're at work or falling asleep, throw on one of the old live streams that are you know there to watch again. Just throw one of them on and let it play. in the background, because that does add to the watch time hours, and I've got to get about another 2,200 watch hours, and that will take the channel to the next level. So if y'all don't mind and you have time, if not, I understand, it's cool. But if you do, it would help me out. Hey, everybody, thanks for stopping in on the stream. I appreciate it, guys. Looks like we got about 5 of y'all now tonight. For some reason, it's slow tonight, guys, but that's all right. Y'all can come in, chat with each other, check out the pretty snakes, and, you know, whatever. Hang out a while. No, the shorts do not count, Tom. Only the old lives, you know. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull it up so I can try to show you which ones you would want to look at here. Um, Now you will find them in the shorts. I believe that's where you'll find the shorts feed, but like I think the short highlights do it. Yeah. I wish shorts did count, because now shorts count as far as signaling the algorithm and stuff, and it helps build the channel. It just does not count to the watch hours. But you could be, you know, the live stream recaps. You know, I don't think just the highlights do it. I think the full recap. You know, like if there was a 5 hour stream, you find the 5 hour recap and, you know, just let that play in the background, you know, or something. That definitely adds to it. Awesome, appreciate it, bud. Yeah, man. Yeah, Trey, that'd be awesome. You know, do that on your tablet during, you know, the shop time and stuff. You know, you can either listen to it or throw it in your lunchbox and let it play. You know, turn the volume down, let it play. See, Tom, whenever you search up the virtual reptarium, it should come up like, you know, like this when you're looking at it. And you'll see these ones that say for you, you know, you can, you know, and Trey, you as well, but any of these that you see, you can replay on these things and they will add to the watch time hours. Messed up video quality some fucking time. Come on, bro. Shit's getting out of hand tonight. a little bit, we're gonna call it for the night. It is what it is. Like we're not doing that great tonight anyway. So we'll call it for the night here in a little while. Maybe we'll try to get an earlier start or something tomorrow. Well, Tom, that's part of it is that whenever I'm not home and I'm down in the city like this, I don't sleep at nighttime worth a damn in the city. It's like I feel like I gotta always keep one eye open and one hand on my wallet. You spent 20 years. You know what it's like. Just being a little uneasy about certain places and stuff. Tom. Yeah, buddy. But I appreciate it, man. We'll see you tomorrow, bud. Sweet dreams of race cars and snakes. I gotta send y'all stickers for the race cars, man. I'm gonna get y'all some stickers out. 6 p.m. Trey, potentially Halloween weekend is a problem. Yeah, that's a good possibility. Like I say, we'll just keep doing our thing and see if the numbers come back up. But that's what I was just doing. That's why I didn't see your comment right away. I was in looking at the analytics, and it's kind of crazy. I got to show you here. I'm gonna come over to the camera and pull it up and show you. But they literally went from like pretty decent and took a major dive to nothing. It's so crazy. Like, where's it at here? Let's see. And now it's showing different, so I bet you that it ends up coming up. Let's see. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, right here. Right here. It's like kind of weird. It says my monthly audience has been running, around 200,000, 222,000, and it's been staying pretty consistent across there. Then all of a sudden, at about November 2nd to the 3rd, it just crashed. Boom, down to nothing. And it actually even says my monthly audience is 0. So I don't know. Weird stuff, It's extremely weird. I ain't sure what's going on. But again, we'll just keep on going and we'll see if we can't get her to turn around. Come on, you fucking pig. Come on, you bitch. Yeah, all right. Well, like I say, if it did it for other people too, it's not just me thing. I guess, we'll just come on, man. Son of a fucking bitch. But yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it and we'll see if it gets any better here over the next few days. Yeah, it's got to be something, like you're saying there, for sure. I'm going to research it a little bit. And like I say, back in the beginning, in the first month and a half or so, I would have that even when I posted shorts. I would get some shorts that got, 20, 30,000 views. Then I'd post another one and it would do like 300 views, or none at all. So, that could be it. And that even actually happened with a short last night. I had posted a short last night, and this morning I checked it out, and it had 7 views. So, yeah, but whatever. Again, if I was like some of these channels that depended on it for a living and stuff, it would matter more. It matters because I want to build this thing. I want this thing to take off, but it's I depend on it. So. I don't know that my notifications are actually going out because, like, we had some other people in here. Um, there was a guy from Indonesia, Hardy Joe was his name, and he came in every single night and talked to us, and Sue would translate for us and everything. And we ain't seen him in several nights either. Like, so I don't even know that the notifications are going. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, Trey, like I have said all along that I kind of feel like YouTube and other social media platforms, especially YouTube, they do this kind of thing once in a while to weed out the people that are gonna bail on them, when the going gets tough, because there's so many creators out there and stuff that people think it's a get rich quick or an overnight success type thing, and it doesn't, happen quite like that. Yeah, Sue. Yeah, craziness. Ain't seen Hardy Joe or nothing. He always came in and he brought some of his people in to watch and stuff. Like I say, it's been really, really great up until about 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, it just fizzled out. Actually, Sue, the night I'm talking about, we ended up with like 73 likes that night. I know to some streams that's not a lot. For us though, that's a handful of likes. And after that night though, it didn't happen again. I mean, well, the following night we did. We got about 53, I think it was. And last night we got the 25 or 24, and now tonight, you see what's happened. It's done pretty much nothing. It's kind of strange because we did that one other time, way back, Sue, when it was just, a couple of us in there. But we did it way back, like we got, a whole shitload of likes, and I emailed you the screenshot of the analytics. And then the next night and a couple nights after, we didn't do a damn thing again. So, yeah, just weird. Crazy, crazy. Trey, is your name like Trey Ford or like Trayford? All right, brother. You have a good night too. It was good talking to you today, brother, and thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate it. stop the stream. I appreciate y'all as always being in here and watching with us and talking and like you say, you and Tom are a big part to, helping me build this channel. Y'all was regular viewers from the start, and I really appreciate it very much. And I hope you have a good night.